This video, I'm going to be talking about Kaneki, a video on him, and hopefully learn something new. Ken Kaneki, the man known for many hair colors and different personalities of himself, and having many iconic moments, as well as edgy memes, but he's not just that. We see at the start of the series a normal boy named Ken Kaneki. This is black-haired Kaneki, or normal Kaneki, completely human. He shows compassion and love for his books. Despite his past, he still keeps a good outlook on life, and he even has a love interest. This all changes on one tragic day. We now have half-ghoul Ken Kaneki. This is after the Rize attack. The struggles he goes through and being completely scared of the new changes to his life. How can he accept having to eat humans? This is the internal conflict of Kaneki and the one that he keeps trying to fight against until Kaneki gets put in a situation of major stress. Being tortured, he has a mental battle about his human and ghoul side. After numerous hours of pain, his hair starts to fade into a white color, the type of color you see in old people, and this can be used symbolically and physically. We know symbolically, this is Kaneki accepting his ghoul side, becoming more of a cult person. This is due to the expressions and action he shows, which are much more different from normal Ken Kaneki. This is him accepting himself. This is the mental progression that Kaneki has had to go through. Apart from symbolic reasons, physically, the RC cells affected his melanin levels, which gives hair its color, same as skin. So a physical reason, that's why. His hair slowly changed over 10 days of torture. This is shown over numerous pages of the manga. Because of these factors, white-haired Kaneki is also a new version of Kaneki, with the more aggressive fighting style. He even picked up a habit of cracking his finger, or basically snapping them, which is the PTSD he has from the torture. This shows his mental state and things of that nature. He destroys Yamari and eats him. This Kaneki is different, cold and takes action. He had the ideology that being kind was worth it. The ideology that being kind would stop other people from feeling pain. But as we saw, this wasn't the case. Because of his weakness, the victims of the torture room died. Because he tried to find the easy way out. Hurt me instead. But at the same time, all this pain and suffering, he becomes what he didn't want to become. A ghoul. Something that he found was a monster. With his new ideology and learning from his previous ideology, he lives in Teku and isolates himself from other people, adapting from his old weakness. This Kaneki mimics behaviors of both Yamari and Rize. Simply, white-haired Kaneki is acceptance. Now, as a reader, you can see the psychological change of Kaneki through his fighting style and having a hint of power hunger. While he treats his friends pretty much the same, anyone that is not his friend/enemy will be crushed like an ant. In just 7 volumes, because I own the copies, Kaneki went from a normal teenage boy with a troubling past to a physical change of becoming a ghoul, and the eternal struggle of trying to live 2 lives to now a mental change of acceptance. Acceptance being a ghoul. Well, this is the good change for him. A ghoul. It's a tragedy. And now you can see the true tragedy of someone who had the past of not belonging somewhere because of the circumstances in which he was brought up in. His aunt taking out all her frustration from his mother is something that Kaneki just had to accept and believe that the ideology on being hurt instead of someone else. During the hour suppression operation, we see Arima beats the hell out of him, and we see Kaneki counter aggressively to avoid the pain, which is used to divert pain in the series. But unfortunately, after getting beat, he gets held as a prisoner. Prisoner 240. What's so crazy about this is specifically naming him this way. This will lead him to eventually forget his name and lose himself. The state of Kaneki is very unstable. As shown in Tokyo Ghoul Chapter 67, he screams in desperation, "Let me out," he repeats, but nothing is going to happen. Arima uses this as an opportunity to break him, through losing his mind and overall going mad. He starts to lose himself, legit having a severe memory loss. He has amnesia and doesn't need it all. This Kaneki is a shell of his former self. He's going back all the way back to his lowest point. And this is the lowest point of Kaneki because of legit being isolated and broken. To add insult to injury, Arima uses this as an advantage and tells Kaneki stuff that would make him go crazy over, and eventually he treats Kaneki with books and makes him an investigator named Hayase Sasaki. Sasaki is a reset for Kaneki, back to square one. As you can see, his hair is white with a bit of black. This shows that the white is mainly Sasaki with his normal self without any memories. Sasaki is a kind person, and this is a person who is also against harming life like ghouls. While Sasaki is a different person to Kaneki because of the new memories he forms, as he has forgotten his older self, notably, he's way more laid back and still has a level of respect. Sasuke shows that he still has Kaneki inside him though. But as he progresses and further developments of his memories reoccur, the black comes back into his hair, which symbolically is Sasuke remembering. And if you want to explain it physically again, it's his melanin being reproduced again. Eventually we get Black Reaper. This state of Blackhead Sasuke, or the Black Reaper, is a ruthless and dangerous person who is emotionless, a depressing mental state, another psychological shift from any Kaneki development so far. He has this type of menacing aura with the way his text boxes are drawn. He wishes to die. He's basically lost himself because of the confusion from memories. When he fights Arima, he loses consciousness, and in his own mind he tries to drown himself. But a mental projection of Hide stops him and consoles with him. After this talk with him, he now has meaning, and to now live. Kaneki comes back with white hair. This is acceptance once again. White-haired Kaneki is acceptance in the series. This is Kaneki back to acceptance. This Kaneki is a Kaneki that has had tons of mental struggles, and is now complete. With Arima vs Kaneki being concluded, he becomes the One-Eyed King. Near the end of the series, Kaneki now understands that everything that has happened to him, all the pain and suffering, was necessary in meeting the people he knows now. The last character development of Kaneki. He went from, the world is wrong, it's warped, to now, the world isn't wrong, it just is.